The 8 best ways to be happier.
1. Find your purpose in life. Happiness is when what you think, what you say and what you do are in harmony. In order to find this harmony in life, you should be aware of what your purpose in life is. An average person spends about 40% of their or his life at a job, including commuting, getting ready and other stuff. Chances are that you are doing the same. It's only logical that you try your best to make that time as pleasant as possible, right? It's therefore increasingly more important that your occupation is something that is pleasant and endurable. Something that is in line with what you think, say and do. Most people are not as lucky though. A survey by Mental Health America with over 17,000 respondents shows that only 21% of people in the US feel like they are paid enough at work. In fact, a lot of people simply hate Mondays, just for the simple fact that it's the start of a new work week. If this is you, then it's very important that you find some kind of intellectual satisfaction from other sources. Something that actually gives you satisfaction and that you can be proud of. A purposeful life is a happy life. When you live your life with a purpose, you are much more in control of your long-term happiness. You won't have the feeling like you're just drifting, working towards some vague goal that doesn't make you happy. With a purpose, your long-term happiness, satisfaction, and sense of achievement are much better definable. You are able to steer your life in the best direction possible. And that's the direction where long-term happiness can be found. This is backed up by plenty of evidence-based studies. A team of psychologists from Poland and the US found that living meaningfully can boost feelings of harmony, peace, and well-being, which in turn promote happiness. According to researchers Kleiman and Beaver, having or looking for a meaning in life predicts lower levels of suicidal ideation and lowers suicide risk. Another study found that having a high sense of purpose in life is associated with a reduced risk of mortality. Find your why. You can't copy and paste somebody else's purpose in life and expect to be happy by doing the same things. No, you have to define your purpose. Just as much as happiness is something that's unique for every single person, the purpose of life differs from person to person. Elon Musk's purpose in life might be to develop futuristic ideas into reality, while your purpose can be to just provide the best life to your family and children. Copy and pasting the purpose of somebody that you respect and like will probably leave you unhappy and unfulfilled. For example, I think Elon Musk is doing spectacular things, but I wouldn't be happy if I were in his shoes. My purpose in life is wildly different from his. I've defined my own purpose in life, and I advise you to do the same. Know that your purpose in life can change. Your life purpose can, and most likely will, change many times over your life. For some people, this means that whatever got you motivated and inspired yesterday might not provide you with the same edge tomorrow. If you currently feel lost and have no idea what you want to spend the rest of your life on, then you can rest assured knowing that your purpose in life will eventually change anyway. This is especially important for young adults, who have no idea what career to choose. Or maybe you just started your promising career and wake up every morning in a panic because you dread working and worry whether or not you wasted all your years in college. At some point in my life, I also worried about picking the wrong field of study and career. Remember that in the end, your first career will rarely turn out to be your life's career. So take a deep breath, relax and know that your life purpose can and probably will change at some point. Two, journaling creates happiness. Gratitude, mindfulness, self-awareness and introspection. What do all these things have in common? They are all significantly correlated to happiness. But what does this have to do with journaling? It's easy, journaling, no matter in what form, helps you achieve these things. There is plenty of scientific research on the benefits of journaling. Journaling is perhaps the most powerful habit I've developed for myself. I have been journaling every day for the last 8 years. Here are 3 tips that I'm still using today. Be expressive. Go deep into your feelings and use emotional language. Don't just recount the story, describe and analyze it in as much detail as you can. Remember how your high school English teacher cautioned you from using too many adjectives? This is the time to use all of the adjectives you couldn't use in your essay. This is your memory. Write whatever you can and want in order to properly express it. This is what makes journaling fun, after all. Ask yourself leading questions. Ask yourself lots of leading questions. Why was it memorable? How did you feel at that moment? What were you thinking? What did it remind you of? Have you in other situations like that? How did you deal with those? Step into the shoes of a therapist or interested friend for a moment. This is the power of journaling. Getting to step back from your thought process and write critical questions about it. Imagine a close friend is telling you the same story and looking for help figuring out what it means. What kinds of questions would you ask them? Don't panic if you skip a day. Okay, it happens. Nobody's perfect, we're all human, after all. You missed a day, or two, or a week. Nobody, ever, in the whole history of journaling, since the beginning of time, has ever written every single day of their entire life since the day they first put pen to paper. Guaranteed. So relax. You're in the same camp as Albert Einstein, Marie Curie, Mark Twain, Charles Darwin and Frida Kahlo. All famous journalers who definitely missed a day or two. You can get right back up on the horse. Today. It's seriously never too late. Don't let a few days turn into a month and a lost habit. Go grab your journal, and write a few sentences, right now.
Three. Self-awareness is the key to happiness. Why is self-awareness so important? Because it allows us to improve the quality of our lives. Just by being aware of how external factors influence us. We can't control 100% of our lives, but we can often control how we react to the stuff we can't control. That is the key to self-awareness and why it is so important. How self-awareness stops me from being negative, being the introvert that I am. I tend to bottle up my emotions when I feel hurt by others. I then keep those emotions deep inside me until I can no longer hold them inside. This situation has occurred before in my life, and it wasn't pretty. Long story short, I could have decided to focus on positive things, but instead, I let my mind slip and choose something worse. I opened the floodgates of my negative thoughts and became a serious pain for my girlfriend for a day or two. Has this ever happened to you? It might seem really simple. You feel like someone hurts you and you feel bummed. You then hold on to that hurt feeling and turn it into something nasty, anger and hatred. This is pretty normal behavior, of course. I mean, we all feel let down by others every once in a while. But it is still important to be aware of what's happening. Being self-aware about simple emotions is extremely powerful. If you are completely self-aware, you will be able to stop and bring it back to yourself first. When you start to rationally question your own thoughts and emotions, you are much better prepared to get rid of the negativity inside. This can be extremely difficult, but you can really improve the quality of your own life by simply being aware of your own emotions. There are multiple methods to become more self-aware. What method is right for you depends on who you are. It's no coincidence that journaling is one of the most effective ways to practice self-awareness.
Four. Try to spread more happiness. Your happiness can actually radiate to other people. Your smile has the power to bring a smile to someone else's face. How can you put this to practice? Why would you want to focus on the happiness of others while you're trying to be happier yourself? It's because happiness is like a virus, it's contagious. I remember this one time, when I went running, a total stranger complimented me on my stride and technique. I found this odd since I've never had any training and I sometimes feel quite clunky. However, this random comment made me very happy. Comments like these can be more impactful than you might think. A simple smile or compliment to a stranger can go a really long way. Happiness is contagious. Humans are group animals. We tend to unknowingly copy the behavior of others, and as some of you might know, emotions can be contagious. If your partner or close friend is sad or angry, then there is a possibility that you will feel that emotion as well. The same works for happiness. In a study published in the British Medical Journal, scientists have found that happiness can effectively spread through your social ties such as your friends, family, and neighbors. The researchers found that being close to happy people is directly associated with your own happiness. In this study, researchers sought to prove how prosocial behavior, meaning, the kind deeds that we do for others, can make toddlers happy. The children who participated in this study were introduced to a puppet monkey who likes treats. The next steps of the experiment are as follows. The child was given their own bowl of treats. The experimenter found a treat and gave it to the puppet. The experimenter found another treat and asked the child to give it to the puppet. The child was asked to give the puppet a treat from their own bowl. The children's happiness levels were tested in each phase, and it was found that giving to the puppet makes them happier than when they received treats for themselves. Furthermore, they were happier when they gave their own treats as compared to when they gave a treat found by the experimenter. This proves that giving, sharing, and bringing happiness to others is rewarding and can totally add to our own happiness. Smile to others more often. We already know that laughter and smiling is contagious, and that the act of smiling can help make you feel happier. Our tendency to mimic the facial expressions and body language of those around us can have a powerful effect on our moods. The next time you go out, pay attention to how people look at you and interact with you as you move past one another. Try to smile at every opportunity. Then pay attention to how people respond and whether they smile back or not. I can guarantee you that most people will smile back at you when you smile at them. And since we know that simply smiling can help boost your happiness, you can feel great knowing that you gave their well-being a boost. Be more forgiving to others. Here's a beautiful quote by Anne Lamott. Not forgiving is like drinking rat poison and then waiting for the rat to die. Making mistakes is part of what makes us human. By not being able to forgive, we're hurting our ability to be happy. In order to become better at forgiving, try to place yourself in the other person's shoes. When we try to see things from the other person's perspective, we are able to more or less understand the motives behind their actions. Whenever we do something hurtful or bad ourselves, we can always justify our actions because we understand the reasons behind it. Since we know why we do the things we do, we usually find it easier to forgive ourselves compared to forgiving others. Knowing that not everyone is perfect all the time allows us to cut them some slack. This does not mean that you have to excuse their bad behavior. This concept is more related to the previous tip. When we manage our expectations towards other people, we will find it easier to forgive them when they let us down.
Don't compare yourself to others and accept yourself for who you are. We often talk about the preferred version of ourselves, if I was 5 pounds lighter, if I was an inch taller, and if I was better at math. Some of these things are easier changed than others, and there's no harm in wanting to change the things that we can change. After all, we all want to improve ourselves as a person. But more often than not, we wish to change things that cannot be changed. We may even realize this, but that doesn't stop us from dreaming. Sometimes it's better if we would just accept ourselves for who we are. It's self-acceptance that will bring you happiness, rather than trying to achieve the ideal version of yourself. How comparison is the thief of joy. You probably know that it's not always good to compare yourself to others. Everyone moves at their own pace and circumstances are different, and so on. But you probably find yourself making comparisons to others and wondering why you can't stop. Comparing yourself to others isn't always bad, and sometimes, it can maintain or even enhance your self-esteem. That's what makes it so hard to stop, even if comparing yourself to others decreases your overall happiness. Overall, however, Comparing yourself to others is often damaging your mental health without your awareness. Luckily, it's possible to refocus your attention on yourself and make negative self-comparisons matter less. Get off social media. If your Facebook and Instagram feeds are anything to go by, your friends are constantly on vacation, eating healthy, getting married, getting promotions and generally living a better life than you are. Deep down you know that you're not getting the full picture, but it's still difficult to feel good about yourself when you compare your own life to the highlight reels of others. While a little bit of upward comparison can be motivating, research has shown that in most cases, it just lowers your self-esteem. So if you're prone to such comparisons, the best gift you can give yourself is to log off for a while. If you can't do that for some reason, then use the mute function and unfollow features that don't add any value to your life and curate yourself a feed that lifts you up instead of bringing you down. If nothing else works, keep in mind how you probably don't share everything online. If you don't give an honest picture of your day-to-day life on Facebook, why should others?
Six. Exercise. In the film Legally Blonde, Reese Witherspoon's character Elle Woods quips, "Exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. Happy people don't shoot their husbands." It seems logical enough, but how happy do exercise and endorphins make you, exactly? Based on evidence-based research, it turns out that the correlation between regular exercise and happiness is really significant. How endorphins improve your happiness? Endorphins cause happiness. This has been observed in many studies over the past decades. A study all the way back in 1984 talks about possible relationships between endorphins, pain management and exercise. That study, as it happens, was not wrong. We now know that endorphins play a crucial role in our nervous system, in particular in response to stimuli such as stress, pain or fear. These chemicals are especially good at blocking pain and controlling emotions, both of which can improve happiness. Dopamine results in happiness too. Dopamine is a multifunctional neurotransmitter that is involved in everything from your emotions to your motor reactions. The chemical is closely related to the more widely known adrenaline, and indeed the two function in very similar ways and have similar effects. That buzz you get after your workout? There's more than just adrenaline at play there. Dopamine is one of the hormones involved in our internal reward mechanisms. Basically, when you do something that makes you feel good, that's dopamine at work. Food, exercise and social interaction can all stimulate the release of dopamine and the good feelings that come with it. Sounds nice, right? Regular exercise should help regulate dopamine levels and keep you feeling happier and brighter. Perhaps not directly after a workout, but I promise it will kick in eventually. Exercising. How much exercising do you need to be happier, then? Researchers from the University of Michigan may have the answer. In their 2018 review, Sanjia Zhang and Yun Chen analyzed the results of 23 studies published between 1980 and 2017 focusing on the relationship between exercise and happiness. They found that there is a significant increase in happiness even if you just exercise one day a week, and that even 10 minutes may be enough to make you happier. If you're looking for that runner's high endorphin rush, a good start might be to, go running. But any form of exercise will do. You don't have to pump iron if you'd rather dance. For maximum happiness, choose the type of exercise that you actually like. There are so many different workouts to choose from dancing to duathlons, running to rugby, basketball to boxing. You should be able to find something that works for you. Don't forget walking. Walking has an undeservedly low reputation as a form of exercise. While it won't give you the athletic benefits of jogging or weightlifting, it has many mental benefits that people don't think about. From improving symptoms of depression and anxiety to increasing well-being and giving you space to think, walking is a great activity. Especially in times when your whole life might be confined to your home. So when I tell you to take a walk, I only have your best interests in mind.
7. Focus on positive relationships. In a world filled with negativity, it is obviously quite common for someone to be surrounded by negativity. In fact, spending time with negative people who continually see the bad in every situation is the quickest way to become a negative pessimist too. Surround yourself with positive people. There's this old saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I couldn't agree more. If you hang out with pessimists, it's likely you'll slowly turn into one yourself. It luckily works the other way around too. Surround yourself with positivity, and you'll slowly embrace that mindset yourself as well. When it comes to friendships, it's all about quality over quantity. A study investigated the role of best friendship and close friendship quality and conflict in happiness. The results showed that the quality of your best friendships is the only statistically significant predictor of happiness. According to a 2010 study published in the Journal of Happiness Studies, the satisfaction of basic psychological needs is the mediator between the quality of friendships and happiness, and this applies to both best friendships and other close friendships. Put simply, people have certain psychological needs, like companionship, intimacy, support, autonomy, competence, and relatedness, and good quality friendships help to satisfy those needs. Nurture your friendships. It goes without saying that having friends makes our lives easier, happier, and more meaningful. Isn't it nice to have someone you can laugh with until your stomach hurts? With friends around, we feel less alone during the tough times and more joyful during the good ones. Having strong friendships and being in the company of people who care about us can actually be beneficial to our health, well-being, and overall satisfaction. Not only do friends enhance our lives, but they also complete it to some extent. Because, honestly, how do we even live without our best friends? In order to nurture your friendships, it's good to know how to be a good friend yourself.
Eight. Try something new every once in a while. Some people say that the biggest enemy of happiness is the hedonic treadmill. This term explains how we humans are quick to adapt to any changes in our lives, and that a similar subsequent change has a diminishing impact. For example, if I take a hot bath today, I'll probably enjoy it a lot. But when I take the same hot bath tomorrow, I will like it a lot less. Try something new. A big piece of advice that a lot of people are not willing to take seriously is to try something you've never done before. I find this mind-boggling. How can you expect a change in your happiness by not changing any of the things that you do? Think about it, whatever you've been doing until now has not resulted in you becoming any happier. You thought you were happy, yet here you are, watching a video after searching the YouTube for new things to try. Well, then doesn't it sound pretty logical that you need to do something that you've never done before? Something that would make others say, what now? Think outside the box here. What is something that you would like to do but never tried? I want you to forget about the reasons why you shouldn't do these new things. There are always reasons to not do something. You have to push through this mental obstacle. What if you're afraid to try something new? One of the reasons why new things are scary is that they're new and unfamiliar. The fear of trying something new is often called neophobia, especially if the fear is irrational or persistent. The important thing to remember about any kind of fear and anxiety is that they serve a purpose, to protect us from potential danger and keep us alive. So to an extent, it's normal or even beneficial to be afraid of the new and the unfamiliar. Most people have experienced some form of neophobia, usually in relation to food. Some people can be very hesitant to try new foods, and that's completely okay. However, if your fear of new tastes causes you to go hungry, you have a problem. Usually, though, neophobia tends to be mild and it doesn't bother people too much. The key to conquering any kind of fear is to start small and gradually work your way up to the really scary stuff. If you're afraid of public speaking, getting in front of an auditorium of thousands is a bad idea. Performing to a smaller crowd is essential to collecting positive experiences and little successes, which help you move on. Think of overcoming your fear as a staircase, take it one step at a time. If you try to jump several steps ahead, your chances of losing balance and falling increase. People often think that they shouldn't be afraid in the first place. However, if you're already scared, thinking that you shouldn't be scared usually only makes the fear stronger. Accept that you're afraid and focus your efforts on building up your courage, instead of beating yourself up for having a completely natural reaction. Don't be afraid of failure. The other reason is that new things have an inherent risk of failure, and for most people, there is nothing scarier. Fear of failure, also known as atychophobia, is fairly common. I'm willing to bet that you have experienced it, too. Whether it's not joining the workout group you've been thinking of or applying for a new job, most of us have been held back by the fear of failure at some point in our lives. The fear of failure is so common because failure is the most readily available option. Success requires a lot of work and effort, and sometimes, no matter how hard you work, you'll still fail. It takes quite a lot of mental strength and resilience to keep working towards your goal despite failures and setbacks. This isn't to say that there's no point in trying. I think that humans are quite admirable because we keep trying despite the odds not always being in our favor. We are resilient beings, and more often than not, we get back up again when life knocks us down. Leave your comfort zone. When researching more about this topic, I landed on this article about the most frequent deathbed regrets. It's a fascinating story since it uncovers what most people regret the most as they are near the end of their lives. Here's the gist of it. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. I wish that I had let myself be happier. The first thing that strikes me is that this list does not include anyone that said, I wish I didn't take as many risks as I did, or I wish I lived a more uneventful life. Now, I don't want you to go out and do the riskiest thing you can think of. What I want you to do, however, is to answer these questions. When was the last time you really got out of your comfort zone? I'm talking about moving abroad, having a first child, ending a bad relationship, quitting your job, etc. Is your comfort zone a product of yourself or your surroundings? Without comparing yourself to others, are you happy with your current comfort zone? Do you think it could be bigger? Do you daydream about doing something else? If yes, then what's the first step you can think of that will make you leave your comfort zone? Exiting your comfort zone is always scary. Thinking about it might already give you anxiety. But still, it's a good idea to think bigger. If you want to be happier, you might have to exit your comfort zone in order to find it.